Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you the instructions on how to make this bonnet. I'm not going to be creating the whole bonnet in this video. It is a mix and match because it's part of my Meteor collection. So what I'll do is I'll tell you at different points. You will need to go and watch part 2 of the Meteor blanket. If you haven't actually made this at all, I really suggest that you actually go and make this sample to start off with to see whether you're happy to be able to continue to be able to make the bonnet, okay? I've got my little model of my doll, which if you saw one of my other videos, you'll see that she's actually got a 15-inch head. So this is to fit a baby that's going to be approximately 2 months old. I'm just going to show you how this fits so that you can see for yourself whether it's something you actually would like to make or not. I just need to get this one actually fastens on buttonhole number 3. Okay, so oops, so there we go. So we've got the hat on. Okay, this is what it looks like all the way around. Just so that you can see if that's something, if you'd like to do. If not, then the choice is yours. But I just thought, somebody asked if I could make a bonnet, and so I've made up, this is a very simplistic type of bonnet. Thank you, model. If you want to do that. If you don't, then obviously a choice is yours, but I just thought it's something nice to share. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to my next section. And like I said, if you haven't been and made these stars in the Meteor blanket, I really suggest that you do so you learn how to join the stars together. So to make the bonnet, to start off with, we need to have 3 of the stars in a row. I'm working with a number 4mm crochet hook, which is a G6 in the US, and I'm using some double knit baby yarn. I'm just going to finish off this round on this one where we slip stitch or single crochet to finish after we've done our chain of 5. And then for this one works slightly different from the Meteor blanket, which is why I'm sharing this, because just to help you be able to do it. So you need to do the 3 single crochet if you're in the US, or the 3 double crochet if you're in the UK. Then you make a chain of 3, so it's 1, 2, 3. Pull your yarn up there, and for this one we work from the bottom. So you put your hook through, pull that nice and tight, pull your chain through, oops-a-daisy. Make sure that your tension is all nice and tight. I'm just going to move it over slightly just so you can try and see what I'm doing. And then we work 3 more single crochet or double crochet into the same chain, or over the chain. And then we work over the next chain. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Make a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Pull your hook out, put your hook through the second point of the bottom star, put your hook back through the chain, pull it through, make sure your tension's nice and tight, and finish off the sequence. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Then we work into the next chain. That's 1, 2, 3. Make a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Pull your hook out. Now we're going to move into the next star up, so I'll put my hook through the bottom point, pick up my chain of 3, and now I'm going to try and hold it so you can still see. I'm working 3 single crochet or 3 double crochet over that same loop, then into the next loop or over the next loop. So that's 1, 2, 3. Make a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Pull that through there, and then pick up the second point of the second star, put your hook through, pull your chain through, and complete this sequence of this loop. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and then we need to work into the next loop. So that's 1, 2 3, make a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, just need to pull some more yarn. Pull my hook out, and now we're going to move up into the last point, last star, so the bottom point. Pull that through. Whoops, a daisy. And work 3 more stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and then we work 3 stitches into the next one. So that's 1, 2, 3. Make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Pull your hook out. Put your hook through the second point of that star. Pull this through. And then we need to finish off the rest of this point of this star. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we've got 2 more loops to complete. So we do 1, 2, 3. I just need some more yarn. Make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, and then work the 3 stitches into the same loop. 1, 2, 3, and the last loop. 1, 2, 3, and then make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, and then work the last 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and then we slip stitch into, or single crochet into the first stitch to finish. Cut off the yarn, and you will, let me just pull this end through. You will have a shape that looks like this. Okay, so if you fold it in half, it looks like a strange sort of jellyfish thing. But you can see that we've got the holes in it. Now in this particular pattern here, we needed to put 8 in to finish off that centre there, but because of the way that we've joined this one, there's actually only 6. But we still work the stitches the same way so that you can fill in the holes. So I'll show you how to do one. So I'm just casting on with my yarn, and so what you need to do is into the middle, because let's just put that down a minute. You've got 6 sides, and each side has got 3 single crochet or 3 double crochet stitches in it, and you need to work into the middle stitch, and you're going to ignore these joining areas. Okay, get my yarn back. So I need to yarn over, because I'm going to be creating the double crochet if you're in the US, or the treble crochet if you're in the UK. I'm going to work into the middle stitch there and create my first stitch, and then ignoring where I've done the join, yarn over and work into the middle stitch of the next 3 stitches. So that's 2, and then into the middle of these ones. I'm not sure that my view is very good on this video. That's 3. Into the next one is 4, and into the next one, the middle stitch is 5, and then we've got one more edge to do, so that makes it number 6. Now this one, it's a little bit more fiddly to do, because when you're joining up the circle, we're going to be making everything go smaller, so you need to slip stitch to join into the top of the first double crochet or single crochet into the first treble crochet to join up. And now what we need to do is we've got this circle, I don't know if you can see that very well, in the middle, and now we're going to come in between the posts and in through the hole, and we're going to do a slip stitch or a single crochet all the way around. So that's 1, 2, you see I've gone through the middle there, 3, in between these posts and up through the middle. Am I on 4? I'm not sure, I've lost count. Into the next one. You've got to go up through there, up through the middle of your circle, and you know when you've got to the end because you're back to the beginning where this tail end where you started that round. We're going to finish in the same place, and then you need to do a slip stitch underneath those top 2 stitches there, or top 2 loops should I say, and join that up. Or I need to cut off my tail end and pull that through, and that gives you, sorry it looks a bit wonky now, that joins up the hole. I'm not sure that the tail ends are doing very well, but it gives you that, so it helps to give it this curve, as you know, to actually have as the actual hat. Okay, so obviously you need to do the same with the second one, and then what you need to do is you need to do, I'm going to get my other one here that I've already prepared. This one, this definitely looks more, it just looks unusual, like a little mushroomy thing. But this one is, all I've done is on the edge of this, I've done the same edging as the part 2 where I've done for the blanket. Okay, so you put the edging on to your little star-shaped version. Actually, if you turn it over that way so you can see it building, you can see the difference. It actually increases the size of it slightly as well. Okay, and then what we need to do once we've actually filled in all of the holes and put the edges on, get my hook back, we're going to do a stitch which I'm not sure I'm not 100% sure what it's called, but I'm going to say what I think it is anyway. So I'm going to cast on to start off with. When you look at your hat, see, we treat it like these are like ear flaps. Okay, and so you look at it and you can see that you've got your star, and the very 2 bottom points here of the points of this star are where we're going to be adding on the ties. Okay, so just get that onto there. So I'm going to go into that point of that star, straight into the point of the star. I'm not going into the edge, just there. I've gone into the point of the star just to try and make it all be easier. You can go into that edge point if you wanted to, but I liked it into there. So we're going to do a slip stitch or a single crochet into place, and then we need to make a chain of 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now this next bit, this is where I'm not completely sure, because if you're doing if you yarn over once, it's a double crochet in the US, but it's a treble crochet in the UK. So if I do 2, that becomes a treble crochet in the US, but a double treble in the UK. And so if I'm going to do 3 and 4, that means that it will be a quadruple treble in the UK or a quintuple in the US, I think, but I'm not completely sure. And then I'm going to work into this point of this star here and yarn over, and then yarn over, pull through, oops, through 2 without splitting your yarn, pull through 2, so that's 2, and again that's 3, and again that's the 4th stitch. And then we're going to actually, because this is a cluster, we'll pull it through. That's why I said I wasn't sure what it's called. Is it going to be a quadruple treble crochet cluster or a quintuple crochet cluster? I don't know. Anyway, we shall continue. For the next part of where I've actually done the buttonholes, what I've done is I've done a chain of 3. So I go 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice, and then into the gap, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then finish that off. So I'm making a cluster, and so that's made the first buttonhole. And then I continue the same way. So that's 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice into the actual hole of the loop or the buttonhole, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and this is also a cluster, which I've called this the V8 stitch, which is, I did this in a different video, but I added around it because it makes number 8. So that's 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice into this loop, and I did this until I'd got 8 because I found that that was the best looking buttonhole thing. It didn't dangle down too far. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was enough for you to be able to, because I wanted to have enough chains to be able to fasten it up. So that's 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice into the actual hole of the loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and finish it off, because that's effectively another cluster. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just do these, so finish it off, 2, 3, yarn over twice into the loop. So that one's number 6. 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice into the loop, because this just helps it stay open as well with you doing it just there. 1, 2, 3, that's 7, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, if I come off camera, I'm really sorry. 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice into that loop there, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So now we've got the 8 for the buttonhole. And to finish this off, what I did is I went into the actual hole and just did a slip stitch if you're in the US, or a single crochet if you're in the UK, and that helps that one to also stay open. Cut off my yarn, pull that through so that's nice and tight, and oh, I've forgotten to pick up my other ball of yarn to be able to show you to do the button. Oh no, I'm fibbing, it's here. There it is. I thought I'd forgotten it. Right, so what I decided to do to make it easier, because a lot of the time we actually give these away. You can't see the colour of this. It's actually a very delicate pink. You can see it on there though. Yeah. So I'm just going to show you how to make the button and where to put the button, just so that you know, because then it just pulls really nice and neatly to fit around baby's head. And also if you do the button in a different colour, it helps the parents to be able to see where to fasten their little hat too. So this one, I'm going to begin with my twist, and then I want to make just one chain, because we're going to work into that chain, but the sequence then goes chain 1 and slip stitch into that first loop. So that's actually my first little, oh, I made a mess of that, look, my yarn's all split. Start again. You may come across this too. So do one chain and then chain 1 and slip stitch. It's either a slip stitch or a single crochet depending where you're from, into that first loop just there. So that's 1, and it makes this little tiny point stick out of it. Chain 1 and slip stitch into that same loop, so that's 2. Chain 1 and slip stitch in, that's 3. Chain 1 into there, that's 4 and 5 and 6. Chain 1 into there, that's 7, and one more. I've still got a little bit of a snaggy bit on my yarn, I'm sorry, it's just because I know when you're doing it yourself you do everything all nice and neat, but when it's like this, so I'm going to finish this off by pulling that all the way through there, so then you've got, it's just a really tiny, oh, I'll hold it closer, can you see that? Get the light on there, it's got little points sticking out of it. If you get this tail end that you finished it with and pull that through the middle like that, then the original tail end that you started with, pull it so it goes tight, so that you make that so it's all finished. Make sure it still looks like a circle. Then if you get the actual hat, we've got where you've put your loops on here, this point here right in the middle, this is where you want this button to sit. So what I did is I put my button there, and then go through the opposite side. I want to pull one tail end through that side and then get the other tail end and pull it through the other side. So we just hold it up again so you can see where it is, right in the middle. We've got a loop coming through each side, and we put that in the middle, turn it over. Saying this is just so simplistic, really basic joining on, and we just pull that nice and tight, make a double knot so it's really nice and tight, and then because you're using a different colour as well, it's actually nice to be able to just go into these stitches here where you've done your single crochet stitches or your double crochet stitches, and just tuck the tail end, do one tail end to go one side, just push that through. You only need to do it just that once there, and then do the same on the opposite side, but we're going to go the opposite way, and then that way it just hides the colour, but it also, it may just finish it off so it's nice and neat. There we go, and cut that off there. And what I did on my very original one, you see in there, your button's now in place. Can you see that? Yeah, I know obviously I've got to sew this end in as well, but what I did on my original one is I actually made a little white button in this exactly the same way, and then sewed that onto the end of there, so that when it's fastened, you've still got a little tiny button in view. I'll just do it onto number 3 because that's where I fasten it for my little doll. And then that way it just matches. It just makes it, I don't know, it just makes it match. So anyway, that's a really quick and simple version, and I know it means mixing and matching with my videos, but if you look at my video, and underneath you'll see my name and it will say Karen's channel. If you click on Karen's channel, you'll then be able to see, because they're only recently ones, you'll be able to see the Meteor blanket. I've got, I think part 1 is the pictures that way around, part 2 is that way around. So in its part, if you haven't done any of these stars, I really recommend that you go and watch both of the videos just so that you know what you're doing. But it's part 2 that you need to be able to do the edging and to fill in the holes, which, I mean, I've shown you how to do this one anyway. Okay, so there you go. I'm not sure whether it's something that you actually, whether you really like this one or not. I know it's a little bit unusual, it's a little bit quirky, but it's nice and it matches your blanket. So if you make the blanket all in white, I've got one here that I've started where I've got the white in the centre. You can see the difference, that it all blends together, and you can see how the effect is different in the centre by having all white all the way around. Or you can do it multicoloured, but I just think that the hat looked better all done in one colour. Okay, so there you go. Thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing, and bye for now.